Hi, my name's Lorraine Liu. I'm a student at Queen's University, and I'm here in Taiwan doing a teaching practicum as a student teacher. This is my fourth practicum, and I'm from Canada, but I'm Taiwanese, and I have a lot of family and connections here, so I chose to kind of do my practicum here to kind of see what it's like if that was an option for the future. I wanted to do my practicum with Foresight, mainly because I heard that they use the Ontario curriculum to teach their ESL program. So I found that really interesting, and I thought it'd be a good way to explore the option of teaching internationally without going too far out of my comfort and knowledge zone. I was also just interested in seeing how ESL programs differed between Taiwan and Canada. So the way it works in Canada a lot of times is students who are of an ESL background, they don't have specialized classes. They just have oftentimes a resource room or somewhere they would go to for tests and assignments to kind of get extra help, but they don't have their own specialized program, which I thought was really interesting with Foresight by creating this specialized ESL program. And I thought it'd be really interesting to see how that worked. So that's why I wanted to do my practicum here. I'm always really excited to come to Taiwan because I have family here and it's always nice to visit. So I know a good amount about the culture and kind of what the situation is like living here. But I've never really explored the education side of Taiwan as much. I know about a lot of the structure, but I never really experienced it myself. So I thought it'd be interesting to come and see that. And otherwise, I love Taiwan. Not only does it feel like I have a connection to it, but there's so many parts of Taiwanese culture that I love. The life in this country there's this energy and the sense of community that I don't really feel as much when I'm elsewhere. And then obviously I really love the food in Taiwan. It's food I'm personally connected to because that's my culture growing up. And then also the street food it's really good. So getting the experience to work here has been really interesting, and kind of seeing what it's like having to commute every day to this school and comparing that to what it's like in Canada. So what I appreciate right now the most is probably how nice the weather is, and even on the commute on the subway and the buses, the views it's just really nice to look at, which you don't get a lot of in Canada. So my experience with Foresight has been really beneficial, I think. I've had a lot of support from the teams and as well as my associate teachers. I really appreciate the way they kind of structured my placement for me. It felt very organized, and apart from just the organization, I think that the people themselves, they've all been very, very kind and supportive. I get help from my associate teachers with planning activities and with accessing things whatever I need. They always say that they're here to help me, which I think is very nice. So in my opinion, I think that the biggest benefits of teaching with Foresight is, again, really having that Ontario curriculum to rely on, coming from a Canadian background. And then aside from that, I think it's just how they've structured my involvement into the classrooms and into the learning space. It seems like they really are here to support me and to have me engage in the lessons apart from just plain observation. Foresight itself has been very helpful in that transition from the Canadian environment to the Taiwanese environment. Because of, again, their focus on Ontario curriculum, I also see a lot of the reflection in Canadian teaching styles. And having the ability to rely on what I've been learning as an Ontario teacher has been very beneficial. Because, again, they're teaching from the Ontario curriculum, we see a lot of the material itself align with Canadian class settings. But I also think that the way they kind of set up classrooms and the way they set up activities is reflected in the same way we would do it in Canada. So when it comes to lesson planning, it's arranged in the very common structure that we have, which is the minds on, and then the action and the consolidation. And I think the classroom themselves, using those learning skills that we use in Canada to kind of promote teaching, really, it reflects the same kind of here. And we see teachers using those learning skills, making them clear for the students that their goals are, aside from just learning the material, learning how to learn. And I think the main part is how it differs from the Taiwanese class setting, having these kids be able to kind of experience Canadian class settings and kind of offset their Taiwanese experience kind of gives them more of a chance to grow in their learning. So some of the support I've received from Foresight's HR team has really been in the form of their ability to kind of be flexible with my needs. So for example, when I was traveling from Canada to Taiwan, there was a snowstorm the day I left and I was delayed 22 hours and I ended up having to start a day later here. And the way they set up my schedule was very accepting of these changes, and it felt like it still went very smoothly because of their involvement. And when I got here on the first day, they showed me around like the school, made sure I knew like everything that was going on. And they've obviously offered me a lot of additional help with like navigation, although for the most part, I have relied on like my family because I have those connections here. But I think that their offers to extend that help with navigation is really helpful for potential other teacher candidates if they are not as familiar with this country as I am.